Do it.
Do it!
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's your pal Noms here, and today we are going to talk Cyberpunk 2077's new trailer that they released. Oh boy. Okay, so I just got through watching it. I watched it about 3 times now, just to get it, absorb everything. And I don't think... I still... I'm at a loss for words because that trailer did more for me than I'd imagine 10 syringes of Viagra would have. My boner is at an all-time high for Cyberpunk 2077. I was hyped because of CD Projekt Red. I was hyped because of what they'd done in the past with The Witcher 3, arguably the best game ever made, and, multiple delays, years of development. CD Projekt Red, but from the time when they started Cyberpunk 2077's development to what they are now, they have probably grown exponentially in size. The amount of money alone they made from The Witcher 3 at launch, and since the Netflix TV show came out, where I believe, if I read correctly, The Witcher 3 sold more after the Netflix release than it did at launch and throughout the entirety of its lifespan up until 2019. I could be wrong about that. I'll double check. You'll probably see something on screen while you're watching this. But I was already hyped, and then truthfully, I've been trying to avoid as much because, let's be honest here, it's CD Projekt Red. Their level of quality is top tier. Is higher than. Maybe From Software is probably second in what you can expect from a game developer in terms of their standard of quality to CD Projekt Red. But there's nothing really that we can. It's gonna be a fucking fantastic game. We all know it is. If it wasn't going to be a fucking fantastic game, that's going to be the biggest scandal or biggest controversy possibly in gaming history. CD Projekt Red's fall from grace. If Cyberpunk comes out, it's totally broken. It doesn't deliver on its promises, and the entire the trailer that we saw happens to be a lie. But let's be honest, it won't. If it is, expect the video, but it won't be. And that's why I went from being, Cyberpunk's coming out, to, oh my god, when the fuck is Cyberpunk getting here? And it's because of this ridiculously high bar that CD Projekt Red have set for themselves as their standard that I rested easy with Cyberpunk 2077. I didn't bother to watch many trailers because I gave CD Projekt Red every bit of my confidence. I was like, I don't need to watch the trailers. I don't need to see spoilers. I don't want to be tipped off. I want to walk into this game completely blind, play it, and have my mind blown. So that's why, unlike many fans have been scratching and clawing to the release date, I've sort of been Cyberpunk, it's there in the background. It'll get here when it gets here. I'm focused on Doom Eternal or in the Will of the Wisps. I even tried Animal Crossing. That was cool. I played Fallout New Vegas recently, which I'll get back to, by the way, because it's kind of relevant for this talk. Obviously, Halo, the Master Chief Collection, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War just came out. I haven't really been focused on Cyberpunk until now, until I decided to watch this trailer, because I forget how I watched it exactly. I just clicked on it because I saw the trailer was released hours ago, and I was like, all right, I'll give it a look, blah, blah, blah. And what do we get? Well, we got just about everything. First-person sci-fi shooter mechanics like the kind you see in Titanfall and Halo, but mixed in with kind of almost a Mass Effect kind of setting. It's very sci-fi-esque. I from what I've seen, Night City, where Cyberpunk takes place, has a very Mass Effect-y, Fallout New Vegas, Blade Runner vibe to it. It takes place, and I didn't know this until I saw this trailer, it takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. Night City is just one city in America, one of very few cities that remain, that is a thriving, profitable, kind of a paradise for people, because the rest of the world's turned to shit due to an economic fallout, which, relates to Fallout New Vegas' premise. Because I played Fallout New Vegas recently, and I was actually thinking about making a video about it. I love Westerns. but more specifically, I love like sci-fi space westerns, and obviously, Cyberpunk isn't a space game, but it's a science fiction post-apocalyptic game, and the premise alone has me just juiced up on hype. And the fact that it's done by CD Projekt Red, it's open world, so it's got. Let's break it down. It's got the first-person shooting of Halo and Titanfall, and sci-fi. The first-person sci-fi shooting of Halo and Titanfall. It's got the premise-ish of Fallout New Vegas and Grand Theft Auto, whereas you're a mercenary trying to make his way in the world, but something happened to you and you have to sort of find out who did it. That's very similar to Fallout New Vegas. The premise is essentially Fallout New Vegas and Grand Theft Auto in terms of what the setting is. How you drive around, you have a whole city to explore. And similarly to Fallout New Vegas, this supposed utopia is right in the middle of a barren, desolate, post-apocalyptic wasteland. And then you have but at the same, unlike Fallout New Vegas, which I like, by the way, Cyberpunk 2077 looks to be on another level in terms of storytelling and immersion and detail. You get the Grand Theft Auto with the story, immersion, and detail of The Witcher 3 in a Mass Effect, Blade Runner-esque sci-fi world city with the premise of Fallout New Vegas. Cyberpunk looks to be fantastic. Not to mention, obviously, the extensive customization, Keanu Reeves' involvement as I think it's Johnny Silverhand. Just about everything you can do in terms of the main plot. You're choosing which direction you want to go in terms of an RPG. The RPG level is apparently through the roof. Branching paths like The Witcher 3. You got the, first-person shooting. It's weird. Here's the thing, and I know there was a controversy about this. The first-person mode of Cyberpunk, that pissed a lot of people off because you have this extensive customization. There's this and one other bit that kind of has me a little bit like, I don't know how this is going to go. It's first-person, but you have all this customization, but you're never going to be able to see it. However, in the trailer, I saw you get like face-to-face with a mirror at one point, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe there's going to be like a lot of mirrors placed around, so even though you can't see yourself, if you look in the right direction, you'll get a reflection, and you'll see yourself walking around the city, and all your customization will be on display that way, despite it being first-person. Maybe that's what they're going to do. With still like a third-person mode. Thankfully, as much as I love the first-person driving mechanics, getting up close and first-person on a motorbike, for example, looks fucking sick. Same as a helicopter. And also, your Lamborghini or whatever the hell you drive around. But thankfully, you get a third-person mode too. It's like, hell yes. Now we're getting the GTA vibe. Gee, it's GTA, Mass Effect, Blade Runner, and The Witcher 3 all into one, essentially. And this, again, could be the game of our dreams. Because essentially has everything I've ever wanted and possibly my favorite premise. Aside from it not being in outer space, which is fine, That's what I got No Man's Sky and Mass Effect for. It's all good. And the Outer Worlds. It's fine. Cyberpunk could be the greatest game ever made. It's done by a studio with one of the best track records in history. Excellent community relations with its fans. Time and time again, CD Projekt Red have surprised us all with how consumer-friendly they are willing to be, how straightforward they are with what they promise and deliver, going as far as to exceed our expectations at times. Though it's worth mentioning, of course, that, The Witcher 3 wasn't without its graphics controversy. What we've seen in this trailer, I'm expecting somewhat of a downgrade, not by much, because like the facial animations and everything, it looked photorealistic. It looked next gen. This is what I'd expect from PS5, Xbox Series X, and of course PC. I'll be getting Cyberpunk on PC, I think, because I want the best experience. And obviously I don't have the Xbox Series X yet because pre-orders were a bitch. Thank you, Microsoft. Well, it's not really their fault because of, the pandemic, but it's fine. That's what PC's for. You can always play something on PC, mostly. And yeah, what really kind of had me thrown for a loop again was obviously the first person mechanic and not being able to see your character, but also in every instance of gameplay, like I love you get first person like sword combat, dice up motherfuckers like you're in like Metal Gear Rising or something. Obviously I love the guns on display were great. You got like it looked like a callback to Doom 2016 shotgun. You blast someone in the face up close. Blood and gore were all on display. This game holds nothing back. but the movement, you always appear to be moving very, very slow in every instance of like first-person shooter gameplay that Cyberpunk exhibits. Which I was like, okay, are we gonna be able to move or sprint, or is this gonna be like a very slow-paced kind of? I don't know. It's just I thought it was a little bit odd. I was like, it really looks like he's moving like a snail while he's moving from room to room shooting people. But other than that, the game looks like an absolute blast to play, and I very much enjoyed this latest trailer. And I don't think I've been this hyped for a. I've been hyped for a game before. I'm probably still more hyped for Halo Infinite, but like Cyberpunk, man. If I wasn't on the hype train before, I'm sure as I am now, and I'm just like most of you. I'm now counting the seconds till that game comes out, because holy shit, that trailer blew me away. And yeah, I just wanted to get this little rant out there, tell you what I thought of the new trailer. I'm very happy that Cyberpunk is approaching. I'm very happy that it's not coming out at the same time as Halo Infinite, so hopefully Halo Infinite has a time to breathe. I got asked in a comment, like, do you think Cyberpunk will win Game of the Year next year, or will it be Halo Infinite? I said I'm hopeful for Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite, if it turns out to be excellent, will probably be my favorite game of next year. But Halo Infinite doesn't have a prayer in getting the one-up of Cyberpunk 2077 for Game of the Year. Like, it's not going to be close. And I think the only game, assuming it comes out next year, that's going to even be in the conversation for being Game of the Year over Cyberpunk will be Elden Ring. But we know not much about Elden Ring, and it's doubtful it'll even come out next year, but who knows? I don't see any other contender for Game of the Year besides Cyberpunk. And the Game Awards, I recently spoke about Game of the Year, why Doom Eternal should win it. If not Doom Eternal, then it should be Ghost of Tsushima. But the Game Awards have had a good track record, and most gaming most game awards ceremonies or presentations or whatever that were somewhat respected until they didn't do this. Most of them picked Witcher 3 as Game of the Year for 2015 when they absolutely should have. Those who wanted to sabotage their credibility did not. So hopefully, Cyberpunk gets treated the same way Witcher 3 did, and hopefully, as high as our expectations are, hopefully CD Projekt Red still finds a way to surpass them. Because goddamn, this game coming out right before Christmas, not since Doom Eternal, as I've been quoted saying, it was the most addictive game I've ever played. Based on the trailer, on what I saw from this trailer, Cyberpunk might just take that crown. Anyway, guys, just wanted to have a little chat about Cyberpunk 2077 and why I'm so excited for it now. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening. I very much appreciate it. If you have time, consider staying for the outro of this video. First of all, I want to say thank you to all of my patrons for all of your contributions to the channel. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you very much. And if you'd like to become a supporter on Patreon, the link is in the description. Even if it's just $1 per month, all contributions help out creators like myself in a big way, so thank you. Secondly, if you haven't already, please check out the channel's Discord server. It talks exclusively about video games, video game news, takes on the internet about certain games that come out, and everyone's got a different perspective. We discuss them all in that Discord. Who's got the right take, who's got the wrong take, who's got a questionable take, and just what we think of our favorites and least favorites and most disappointing releases. Check it out at your leisure, and who knows, maybe you'll make some friends along the way. And finally, in case you can't tell, this is my secondary channel, Noms. If you want to see more videos, more of my polished work, consider checking out my primary channel called Anomaly Inc. You can find me there primarily. It talks about mainly movies and television and pop culture in general, so check that out if you might find something you're interested in, and yeah, I hope you find something to your liking. So thanks again for staying to the end of the video. You are a legend, and I'll see you next time.